The last time we did a show together after a Steelers game was the wild card loss to the Browns. The Steelers trailed 28-0 at the end of one quarter, and they were down 35-10 at halftime. We came in here the next day and said, it's over. At least the two of us did. Ben, it's over. Move on. What's the point in bringing him back? It's not going to get better. He's 38 years old. He's not going to find Ponce de Leon. Do people get that reference? Ponce de Leon. Can I say that? And
I would hope that they would understand you're making a Fountain of Youth reference.
He was not going to find that. No bionic elbow. None of this. The coordinator's going to fix things. New line. It's just over. It's done. And I think Craig was resistant to that. Has been a Ben stan. He named his kid after Roethlisberger.
Is a massively defiant human being in general who swims against the tide like a salmon.
But now it's another. We're back together 9 months later, and it's the same exact conversation. They get beat by double digits again. They've lost 8 of 10 games with Roethlisberger under center, and he was bad. So do you have a rationalization or an excuse this time, Craig? Is there anything you'd like to say on behalf of the Ben fan club at this point?
I'm not a part of that fan club anymore. I'm out. I can't do it.
This was the one for you. This finally did it.
I think it is.
Was it watching him throw a 3-yard behind the line of scrimmage swing pass to Najee Harris on 4th and 4?
No, that happened last week.
How many yards behind the line of scrimmage was yesterday's 4th and 4 to Najee Harris?
I think it was only 3.
Only 2, maybe? Yes. He is the only quarterback in the last 20 years to lose yardage on 2 fourth-down pass attempts in the same season. I believe I saw a stat. I couldn't track it down. It was like the Sasquatch or like the Steelers' offense. It's hard to find. Where they have had 4 passes thrown behind the line of scrimmage this year on 4th downs. The other 31 teams in the NFL combined have 6 in the same type, same situation.
I think even for Ben's biggest fans, and Craig would count himself among that group, yesterday has to be the nail in the coffin, right?
No.
It has to be.
Not for some of the – you're talking about Ben's biggest fans?
It has to be.
They're still not out on him.
Yes, it has to be. Seriously.
What are you trying to do, have an intervention for these people?
I am. 412-928-9370. We'll take phone calls all afternoon here.
Fine,
yes.
I'm going to say it's strongest because I've been doing this
intervention.
the longest.
412-928-9370.
I said last week before this game I would be willing, just in theory, to give him to the bye week. Maybe he's earned that. You know, people talking about what he does and doesn't deserve. Well, I want to see him play Rodgers in an old gunslinger battle. Pew, pew, pew. I want to see him play Vic Fangio's defense, which is, I think, the best secondary in football, more than likely, although they even got cooked by Lamar a little yesterday. And then I wanted to see him play Russell
Lamar
Wilson.
hit a big, long pass for a tutty.
Yeah, he hit Marquise Brown, who dove for a perfectly thrown ball just about. Yeah. And then I want to see him play Russell Wilson, who is one of the best quarterbacks in football, and then we'll judge it there. That's what I said last week.
At the bye week.
That's what I said.
Cool your jets.
Heading into a Halloween,
extra time to think about
a scary showdown on Halloween in Cleveland, right? Where the guys in the dog pound probably aren't even dressing up. They just look like that all the time.
Yep.
I changed my mind. I'm done. I don't want to give him 2 more games. I don't want to give him another series. I don't want to see Ben Roethlisberger start another game as the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. I'm bleeping out. I'm done.
Why?
I can't watch him stand there in clean pockets and throw the ball way before he has to and throw it poorly.
Yeah.
I can't watch him miss Juju multiple times. I can't watch him hit the one pass everyone's going to cite to Deontay for a touchdown and have people sit here and try to talk me into something that I know isn't the case. Look, he's still got it.
The arm's still there.
Starkey made a great analogy.
He did?
On Cook and Joe today. He said, you'll even see old power hitters past their prime occasionally catch up to one and launch it 435, 450 feet like a pool hose, but then they go 25 games without a home run, and at the end of the year, a 40 or 45 home run guy has 13 of them. That is Ben. That's what those occasional deep shots that connect are. One little glimmer. I'm done. I don't want to watch this anymore.
Craig, is that how you feel?
It sucks to watch. It's painful to watch. It is like watching a friend go down a bad path in life, and at some point You're done with empathy. You're done with second chances. You're done with all of it, and you just don't want to know them anymore.
Is this cats and dogs living together? Do you actually agree with Chris?
He said it. It's painful. I don't want to see Ben go out like this. I just want it to be done.
That's why I didn't want him to come back.
Yep, you were right.
Because I didn't think there was going to be a happy ending, and I think yesterday, more than any game this season, confirmed that. I think if you are being honest with yourself, and I think most Steelers fans are, this is the game that his mistakes or his blunders could not be excused away or could not be put on other people.
I still saw people attempt to do it. I will say somebody by name.
A little bit on Juju, little bit on offensive line.
I saw Ray Fittipaldo, who we like, give the offensive line, I think, an F in his grades. I have to go back and look. I thought it was their best game of the season.
It was.
I thought it was like not even incontrovertibly their best game of the season. I think there was
they
a
were
stat
able to
floating
run block
around.
early in the game.
They moved guys off the ball. I thought Kenny Clark was going to eat Kendrick Green alive, and he got him on a couple plays for sure. They got to Ben a couple times, but I believe the stat was Ben was pressured on 7% of 40 dropbacks to throw there. That was like the lowest rate all year in the NFL as far as teams getting pressure for a 40, plus passing attempt game.
Yep.
It was him. Is there not a microcosm of why he is so washed right now more than that 4th and 4 we started out laughing about? He takes the snap. Go look. Anybody that wants to. You can go look on the YouTube highlights, whatever. It's there. You don't have to have a Game Pass subscription or anything. It's out there in the open.
I think we've got the picture of it on our website, 937thefan.com. You talking about the one where he didn't even look at Freiermuth?
Freiermuth is breaking open, and you can tell as he throws the ball to Najee. It's not like one of those deals where the linebackers actually moved after the throw. The window was there for any quarterback in football to hit Freiermuth for a first down to keep the series going. His head never turns in his direction. It's Najee's getting that ball from moment one, and he's got the audacity to talk about Najee after the game, about how he should be running. You're throwing him the ball in a lame duck situation. You're not even looking, and there is not a Green Bay Packers defender within miles of you in football terms. Guess what Ben is still leading the league at, though, despite all this? Time to throw. No one's getting it out quicker. 2.33 seconds for the year. He has led the NFL in that stat, and it's not a good one in my opinion. 3 out of 4 weeks. That's a continuation of last year. You said it. 2-8 in their last 10 with him in the regular season. It's not getting better, and it's not something new. We've been watching this now for the better part of a full season's worth of games. It's not going to magically change. Tom Brady's just as slow as him. Would you agree? You watched him run into that slop last night, but he tried to make plays with his legs when he had to. Yeah. In the pocket, he still moves around. Ben doesn't.
It's starting to look like Peyton Manning in Denver, except they don't have their defense is overrated. They don't have the complete team to insulate the guy. I also don't think they have a quarterback that is willing. Like Manning, I thought they beat the Tucson Steelers in that divisional round game and to get to a Super Bowl. I think he made 2 or 3 good throws in that game to help his team win.
Demaryius Thomas on a 3rd and long.
But what was obvious
to
me about Manning is that I think he understood what he was at that point. Like he knew that he was not the guy that racked up yards and MVP awards in Indianapolis, and it checked his ego at the door and is like, you know what? I've got to play this way. Because this is all I have left.
He was what Ben has been in Ben's past when he's been injured going into games, like when he was healthier. I'm talking younger Ben. When he was compromised, you'd see him occasionally play a smart game because he knew he still had like the arm strength and sort of the wherewithal. He thinks he's something he's not. And you know what the real bad part was? The juxtaposition of watching a dude who still can do it at almost 38 years old. When Rodgers needed to, he was throwing seeds to guys over the middle. Throws that take some balls, some cojones, and he was making them.
But what I'm saying is, I think that Peyton Manning, who was able to win, everyone cites the stats, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions. He was the de facto offensive coordinator, but he had to change his style and water himself and dilute himself way down to give his team a chance to win. The Steelers think they have an offensive philosophy that they can win with. It's the pre-snap motion. It's the move the quarterback a little bit, not asking Ben to be Lamar Jackson, but move a little bit, get under center, a lot more play action, a lot more stuff like that. And I just don't think Ben wants to do it. And I think that's why I believed from day one that bringing him back was a bad idea. Because I didn't think he was going to be able to, all right, fine, let's do it your way. It might be my last year. It might be my last chance. Let me cede power control. I'll trust you. I'll trust an offensive coordinator whose best year was in college at Pitt. I'll trust, the running back. I'll trust a green offensive line. I never thought Ben was going to do that. So, to me, what are you going to do with the last 13 games? Do you buy into we've had worse starts before, we were 0-4 and got to 8-8? We're always
Ben was
in
31
it.
back
We've
then.
only played under Tomlin. We've only had one game that didn't matter. We've only played one game that didn't count. I mean, these are the types.
These games don't matter. Like, this coming game next week doesn't matter in my mind as a fan, as a keen observer, because I know they're done.
Well, that's what I know. They're not going to make the playoffs.
They're a bad football. They're not going to win more games than they lose.
Right.
Not even close.
So what I'm asking is, the sooner for me they start to treat 2021 like the Pirates treated last season, where it's like, I know, I hate to say this, because football and baseball are not exactly analogous when it's 17 games versus 162. But to me, at some point, you have to think, what do we have in this quote-unquote first-round graded quarterback? And late in the year, do we want to give an actual first-round quarterback a couple of games that we can evaluate him off of going into the offseason?
You're not even looking at it you're only looking at it from the player perspective, too. Everyone says, oh, why are they putting their trust in a coordinator who had one successful season in college really at Pitt? They're not running his offense. Can we dispense with that farce?
Well,
as long as Ben is in.
Great point. You get to evaluate him.
And the offense, yes.
You can put Rudolph and Haskins in.
I'm fine with the Rudolph and Haskins idea, especially Rudolph, because he's the guy they've invested more time into. You aren't getting, mark my words, people, you're not seeing what Matt Canada wants to run at the pro level. You're not. You're seeing some sort of awful-looking Frankenstein of what Ben will occasionally choose to run, which is like one or two plays where somebody goes in motion, but it's the same crap.
And don't get me wrong, I don't think right now that they have some great, innovative offensive coordinator. I don't think Matt Canada is particularly great at his job. The Steelers' hiring practice, the way they arrived on him as their coordinator, makes me question the move even more. Because he worked next door. Because he coached the team where Tomlin's kid went to play college football. There are ingredients to the Matt Canada hire. They just promoted him and didn't really go through a full interview process for offensive coordinators. Which, if you think about that even, I mean, I know this is way off topic, Chris, but that's such an antithesis if you think about it. If they don't do their due diligence when Cowher retires, they don't find Mike Tomlin. And yet they just promote these people.
I put that part of it on Tomlin. I think he's had one guy forced on him, and that was Haley.
But do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, they were...
If you were promoting from within on a staff where you continually won Super Bowls, or to use the college example, if Saban just kept promoting guys, and even he doesn't do this, he hires from outside. But say he, at Alabama, just kept promoting from within the ranks, or the way Belichick would do it, right? You're winning Super Bowls? And Belichick's tree, when the guys would go up to be head coaches, wouldn't look great. It really hasn't so far. If you're doing that and you're the Steelers and you have won 3 playoff games since your last in a decade, you're not getting cream of the crop here, to quote the Macho Man Randy Savage. I mean, you're getting Adrian Clem. There's still a lawsuit out against that guy in California. You're getting who? Mike Sullivan, a guy whose claim to fame is having the same name as an actual successful coach in this town. There's nothing here that's encouraging. And I would you said Canada, you don't think he's good at his job. I'm going to give you one small qualifier because I know why you said it, the Pitt connection, the Maryland connection. It seems like a lazy hire, and I think it is. I would at least like, by the end of this season, to have seen Matt Canada's actual honest-to-God offense enough to pass judgment on what you said there.